So, birth. I don't want to. I feel like birth is one of those things where I want to just be like, let's not and say we did. Does anybody else feel that way? Honestly, to me, ooh, this is one of those like mom things, I guess. This is, I guess, the second in the series that I started with breastfeeding. I don't wanna. Of just like mom things where I'm like, maybe not. I don't want to do that. Now this one is, I mean, I guess you can't get around it, can you? One way or another, baby's got to come out. So I know I'm gonna have to, but I really don't want to. Here's the thing. I don't feel like I'm going to have as much to say about this as I did the breastfeeding one, so hopefully this isn't a really long video. But clearly, I'm gonna. But here's how I feel about birth. Here's the thing. I had never looked up pictures or information or watched videos of birth until after I got pregnant. Never really occurred to me to do so. Now here's the thing. I did watch like TLC's A Baby Story, you know, whenever I was like in high school and stuff, I would watch that every day because it was just so fascinating. But they never showed like any of the nitty gritty. So I never really knew like, you know, much about it other than like, and then baby's here. You know what I'm saying? So they just made it seem very like, no big deal, you know, like clearly it's gonna hurt, you know, but it's like, oh, then the baby's here. Let me tell you, whenever I actually looked up how big 10 centimeters is, wow, that was like, what? How is that possible? How is that physically possible? Like, I know that it happens, but my mind just cannot compute how that happens. How does it? I can't. It just can't. It makes my vag crinkle up inside of itself every time I think about that. I'm not one of those people that can view birth as like this magical, amazing experience. You know what, in a lot of ways, I don't feel like I'm like a mom. I'm like a cool mom, but no, I'm a weird mom. So I can't fathom that. And then whenever I looked up pictures of the actual birth of like a head coming, how is that physically possible? I don't get it. I don't get how it can happen. Like, it just seems unfathomable. And the fact that it's going to happen to me in like literally 3 months is like, I'm not ready for this. I have not had enough time. I need to be pregnant for like 80 years before I'm ready to have that happen. So then I started watching videos, which I really shouldn't have done, because like seeing it happening in real time, wow, those women who want like the mirror in front of them, can't do it. All the kudos to you, because I don't think if I saw myself like that I could unsee it. That you can't unsee that. And I don't think I could ever come back from that. I don't think like it would just be shuttered down there, just cobwebs and shutters, because I could never view myself in any other way other than that happening. So I don't want a mirror in there whenever I'm giving birth. I just can't fathom that. And my husband's already said that he doesn't even want to look. And I was like, thank you, because I don't want you to look. I just feel like we couldn't come back from that. Like it would be one of those traumatic experiences that like we would just be sitting there like shell shocked. So no, no, thank you. But here's the thing also, I watched a lot of like birth vlog type videos where they don't show you, you know, everything, but they're like going through like the whole process of like checking in all the way to like after the baby arrives. And I started out thinking of it like this. I watched some videos where they were like unmedicated, and I was like, I could do that. I could totally do that. You know, they make it look so easy. Like, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit, but you don't need any medication. I can do that. And then I watched some videos. I had like a good string of like 4 or 5 videos where they were just like, oh, this is amazing. And then I hit like 2 or 3 videos where they were literally in the worst pain ever, and I could feel it through the screen. And they were miserable and they regretted every second of it. And I was like, let's reel that back in a little bit. Maybe I do need medication. So this is how I came to the decision that I 100% want an epidural. I said that really weird, epidural. Anyway, I started out like, of course I'm going to get an epidural. You know, it was like, no, like I didn't even think about it. And then once I watched the videos, I was like, oh, I could totally do a natural birth. And now I'm 100%, I'm getting the epidural. I don't care. Pump me full of all the drugs. Give them all to me. Because I just cannot imagine going through all of that, especially first time mom. Like they say it can last like 24 hours or more. No. Not happening. Not happening. I want that hookup as soon as I'm able to. I know all of like the risks and stuff. Like I've made my decision. Now here's the thing. I don't begrudge anybody their own decision as to what they wanted to do. Like if you did it unmedicated, kudos to you. Can't do it. I just cannot. But here's the other reason why I kind of came to that decision. I need a drink of any kind. I watched a couple videos where they, you know, just totally like hated it, had a horrible experience. And then I watched some where it was like they had an epidural. And as soon as they got the epidural, they were like, life is amazing right now. Everything is great. And I was like, that's how I want to feel. Like, I don't think I'm going to go into it or come out of it thinking that birth was like this magical experience. I just don't feel like that's my personality. I think I'm going to come out of it being like, wow, that was a ride. But I also feel like I'm the same personality type where it's like, if I had a really, really bad, painful, excruciating experience, I might be like, I can't do this again. And I don't want to feel like that because I know that we want to have more than one. And it just got me thinking that like, I want to have the best birth experience that I can have. And for some people that's unmedicated. For some people that's like a water birth or a home birth or whatever it is. For me, I feel like it's just going to be the epidural, glorious epidural in the hospital, relaxing as much as possible. And just, you know, like, I feel like if I don't have to focus on the pain as much, I'll be more present for, you know, everything else that's happening. So I feel like that would be the best birth experience for me. Now, of course, who knows what might happen. It may turn out that like, maybe things progress so quickly that by the time I'm at the hospital, it's too late and I can't get an epidural or whatever. And then it's like, well, I guess, you know, we're going to have this baby without it. But if I'm able to have that choice, I definitely want the epidural because I don't want to look back on the birth and be like, that was so painful, as opposed to that was really crazy, like, or that was like, what a wild ride, like, I want to look back on it and think of it fondly, as opposed to that was the worst pain of my whole life and I hope I never do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know that other people, like, they can experience that pain and then be like, still like, that was amazing. I would be like, no, thank you. So it also comes down to just knowing who you are, like, know your personality, know your limits. But so for me, an epidural is going to be the way that I go. And like I said, I don't want the mirror in the room to see anything. I also don't want anyone else in the room with us. We don't want any family in there. No friends, nobody, just us two and the doctors. That's like our time. This is something that we are going through as a family, and I want it to just be us. So I just don't want like everybody seeing all the things happening. I just do not. So that's, I guess, also part of our like how we want the birth to go kind of thing. I mentioned this in another video that I just filmed. I don't know which is going to go up first, but I don't really have like a birth plan. I know that they're probably going to tell me like, oh, put together a birth plan or whatever. And it's literally going to be like, I don't want anyone else in the room with us, and get the baby out however you need to. That's it. If I have to end up having some sort of emergency C-section, fine. If it's a vaginal birth, fine. As long as you get that boy out of me and get me all together, then we're good. We're good after that. I don't really care how it happens, as long as he comes out in one piece, hopefully, and hopefully I'm still in one piece. And then, we're all good. I really don't have any like crazy expectations of like some magical birth. It's going to hurt at least a little bit. The thought of whooping myself, not my favorite thing to think of. Really not my favorite thing to think of. I'm terrified of that. And I hope that if it happens, they don't tell me, because again, that's one of those things where I would never be able to unhear that. I'd never be able to. So I hope that that doesn't happen. And I just hope that this is as relatively easy as it can be. And it remains to be seen. Maybe I'll be induced. Maybe I'll go into labor on my own. Maybe there will be a C-section. Who knows? But whatever happens is going to happen. I'm putting zero expectation on it, other than, please let me have that epidural. Because I just want it to be as good of an experience as possible. And like, I feel like birth is one of those things where it's just like, I'm in awe of anyone that goes through it, period, however they do it. Whether it happens, vaginally, C-section, naturally, induction, whatever. All the kudos to you. But like, you have some people that would be like, oh yeah, like, I had this like magical experience and I had an O while it was happening. And I'm like, what kind of drugs were you on? Because I want to know, and I would like to have those also. Because what the actual F? What kind of birth is that? Like, please tell me if any of you actually had like a big O while you were giving birth. Please leave us all your magical secrets down below, because I can't imagine anything like that being that pleasurable. Just can't. That's unfathomable to me. I just don't get it. Like, what kind of voodoo is that? So that's how I feel about birth. I don't want to. But I guess I'm going to have to, and I hope that it, is as simple and as easy as it could possibly be. And, that's just how I'm going to approach it. Like, we are bearing down, no pun intended, on the final few months. The last trimester is coming up very quickly, and I'm just like, I'm getting a little nervous. A lot nervous. I'm getting a little like freaked out a little bit. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with the aftermath, like the actual like, oh, now you have to go home with this like new person that they're just gonna like pull out of you. Very, very weird. But I feel like the birth, like even though I'm, like I hope it goes good, I'm almost not even that concerned about it because I'm just like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But I just I want it to go good, and I really want to know if they can sneak me in a margarita right afterward because I feel like I'm gonna need it. Just kidding. But I feel like I'm definitely like, what am I gonna have right afterward? Like I keep seeing all these people that had like some really good food afterward, and I'm like, what do I want? Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that. It's almost like thinking of your last meal, but instead it's like your first meal after all of that. What do I want? What did you guys have afterward? Did you have anything really, really good? That's what I really want to know. I want to know, what did you eat after birth? Was it something really delicious, or did you just get hospital food? I think if they tell me that I have to have hospital food, I'm still going to have Hubs go out and get me like something else. I'm going to like hide in the bathroom and eat it or something. Because I feel like after all of that, you've earned really good food. So there you go. That's my like that's how I feel about birth or whatever. We'll leave it at that, I guess. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.